Is that a Goalie Hub YouTube video? Impossible. Hello everybody and welcome back to Goalie Hub, even though it's been a while. So we all know that Igor Shesterkin just had one of the greatest seasons ever from a goaltender in the National Hockey League, and that has now prompted the question, who is better, Igor Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevskiy? I've heard a lot of talk about that on social media all over the summer, and I wanted to give my thoughts on it, and specifically I wanted to give my thoughts on who I think my top 5 goalies are in the NHL as of August 2022. I thought with all the debating going on all over the summer, why not do a goalie ranking to piss a lot of people off? On a more serious note though, I think I do have some pretty interesting picks for you guys in my top 5, and I feel like a couple of them will be heavily debated in the comment section down below. So hey, if you hate my rankings, if you love my rankings, comment your opinion down below. As per usual, I do want to mention that if you're brand new to the channel and love goaltending and just hockey in general, then please click that subscribe button down below and turn on the post notifications to get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And hey, if you like the video at the end, please give it a thumbs up because it helps out the YouTube algorithm. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's at @goalie_hub. There will be a link down below in the description, and also follow me on Twitter. Yes, I'm now on Twitter. I believe it's also goalie_hub. I don't use Twitter too much, but I will post updates every now and then, so it's a good thing to follow along with. But with that now all out of the way, let's get into my top 5 rankings. So coming in at number 5, I have Ilya Sorokin from the New York Islanders. Now, some of you might be like,
Goalie Hub, this guy hasn't played many NHL games, he has less than 100.
Well, you gotta look at his numbers. He has a career .923, which is absolutely ridiculous, and he was arguably, should have been at least, a Vezina finalist this year with a .925 save percentage in 52 games on a fairly weak Islanders team that missed the playoffs. And despite only playing 74 games, I have him in my top 5 because of just how important he was to the Islanders last year. Like, I honestly think if Sorokin was not on the New York Islanders last year, then the Islanders could have been a lot worse and possibly even being like a bottom 4, bottom 5 team in the league without Sorokin. Last year was his first true season as a number 1 goalie, as he was able to steal the job from Semyon Varlamov, as Varlamov struggled last year, and I think Sorokin did an amazing job on a weak Islanders team, and I'm only expecting him to get much better this season. Hopefully the Islanders can maybe be a little bit better, but I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs. That's just my opinion though. Maybe Sorokin can carry them to the playoffs. Either way, I have him at number 5, and I think he's honestly one of the most underrated goalies in the NHL right now. Coming in at number 4, I have Juuse Saros from the Nashville Predators. In 222 career games played, he has a career 2.54 goals against average and a .920 save percentage. Pretty solid numbers. In the playoffs, he has a career .914 save percentage in 17 games, as Saros and the Predators have yet to make a really deep playoff run. This past year, Saros was actually a Vezina finalist, as in 67 games, he went 38, 25, and 3 with a 2.64 goals against average and a .918 save percentage. And yes, the Predators did make the playoffs, but Saros did not play due to an injury, as they got swept in the first round by Colorado. In addition to being a Vezina finalist this year, he was also at the 2022 NHL All-Star Game, and back in 2018 he was on the NHL All-Rookie team. So overall, Juuse Saros, in my opinion, is actually pretty underrated as well. I haven't seen a lot of people rank him this high. There's been a few I've seen, but not a whole lot, and I think he deserves a lot more credit than what he gets. Without Juuse Saros in the regular season, Nashville would have missed the playoffs 100%, even with Roman Josi playing out of his mind. Saros has been the backbone of Nashville, definitely the past 2 years. He's put up some really good numbers as a number 1 goalie, and he's really developed over the past few seasons, taking over for Pekka Rinne. I think Saros actually benefited a lot from being Pekka Rinne's backup for like 3-4 seasons, as he was able to learn a lot from him, and now he's being able to transition smoothly into a very good number 1 elite NHL netminder. I really hope though that Nashville can maybe improve their team a little bit. I think they did with Ryan McDonough. That's a good addition, but hopefully they can be better this coming season and do a lot better in the playoffs, and hopefully Saros doesn't get injured again so he can actually play. But either way, I have Juuse Saros at number 4. Coming in at number 3, I have Connor Hellebuyck from the Winnipeg Jets. In 381 games, the 2012 Jets draft pick has 201 wins with a career 2.69 goals against average, nice, and a .916 save percentage. In the playoffs in his career, he has a very solid .921 save percentage in 35 games, most notably having a deep run in the 2018 playoffs with the Jets. This past year, it wasn't anything super amazing, as he did only have a .910 save percentage in 66 games, but you look at his record, it's around 500, as the Jets were a very mediocre team this year, and obviously he did not play in any playoff games this year. If you look at his accolades in his NHL career, there's actually quite a few here, including a 2020 Vezina Trophy, first All-Star team selection, second All-Star team selection, and 2 NHL All-Star games. Now, Connor Hellebuyck, in my opinion, is a guy that I've had as the number 2 best goalie in the league for the past 3, 4, even 5 seasons, right behind Vasilevskiy. This year, of course, something changed, and by something, I mean a guy named Igor Shesterkin posting ridiculous numbers, which means I obviously had to bump Connor Hellebuyck down to number 3, but honestly, it's not even that bad. Being a top 3 goalie in NHL is still really solid, and Hellebuyck is definitely that. He's had some really good years in the past, and without Hellebuyck, the Jets would be a bottom feeder in the NHL, as that defense is just, oh, it makes me cringe. I really hope the Jets can improve their team a little bit and get back into the playoffs and start making deep runs again. Like, I remember watching the Jets playoff run back in 2018, and I was so happy watching them, and Connor Hellebuyck was playing out of his mind. Even last year in 2021, they did make it to the second round, but that was in a weaker Canadian division where they got swept by the Montreal Canadiens. Honestly, next year, it's looking like the Jets will not make the playoffs in the stacked Central Division, which sucks for Hellebuyck, because I really hope the Jets don't waste his prime, as he is an elite NHL netminder, and I think he still will be for at least a few more years to come. Now, some might say this should be the number 1 goalie, but at number 2, I have Igor Shesterkin from the New York Rangers. He's only played in exactly 100 career NHL games, posting a 2.50 goals against average and a .928 save percentage. In his career in the playoffs, he has 21 games played with a 10-10 record and a .928 save percentage, most of those games coming from this year's playoff run with the Rangers. This past year was one to remember for Shesterkin, as in 53 games as the Rangers starter, he helped get them back into the playoffs with a .935 save percentage and 36 wins, and in the playoffs he was still continuing that torrid pace with a .929 save percentage in 20 games, ultimately falling to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. Shesterkin is a very special goaltender. He is one of the rare, super elite, franchise-changing goaltenders. And talk about the Rangers' goaltending history. I mean, you go from John Van Beesbrook in the 80s, you got Mike Richter in the 90s, Henrik Lundqvist in the 2000s and 2010s, and now you got Igor Shesterkin for the 2020s and beyond. That is crazy. Shesterkin, of course, did win the Vezina Trophy this year and was also on the first All-Star team, and he was a Hart Trophy finalist, which is very rare for goaltenders. Now, even though I have Shesterkin at number 2 right now, I could definitely see him going up to that number 1 spot within the next, 1 or 2 years even, if he continues to perform at this level. So yeah, with Shesterkin being number 2, I think you can all guess who is at the top spot, and of course at number 1, I have Andrei Vasilevskiy from the Tampa Bay Lightning. In 365 career games, he has a 229, 101, and 24 record, with 28 shutouts, a 2.50 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage. In the playoffs, that is where he ups his game, of course. In 104 career playoff games, that is a crazy number of games, he has a career 230 goals against average and a .923 save percentage. This past year in 63 games, he went 39, 18, and 5 with a 2.49 goals against average and a .916 save percentage. And in the playoffs, he continued his great playoff play with a .922 save percentage in 23 games, but unfortunately, Tampa could not three-peat and they lost to Colorado in the Stanley Cup Final. His accolades include, oh boy, that's a big list: 2019 Vezina Trophy, 2021 Conn Smythe Trophy, 2 Stanley Cups, 2019 and 2021 first All-Star team selection, and 4 All-Star games. That is crazy. Even though Shesterkin was crazy good in the regular season, the duel between Shesterkin and Vasilevskiy in the conference finals really showed me that Vasilevskiy is still the better goalie, as Tampa won that, and again, it's funny to think that Vasilevskiy still posted a .916 save percentage in the regular season, and I'm pretty sure that's his worst save percentage he's ever posted as a number 1 goalie in the NHL, which is mind-boggling because .916 is still pretty solid. And I'm not gonna lie, Tampa looked kind of cooked in the playoffs this year. They looked really tired at times, and without Vasilevskiy's incredible play, they probably would have lost in the first or second round of the playoffs. Vasilevskiy is a franchise-altering goalie, and I think he will continue to play at an elite level for at least the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years. a long time. I could honestly see Vasilevskiy going down as like a top 10 or even top 5 goalie of all time when his career's over. I love this guy. He plays out of his mind every single game, and it's incredible. So that just about wraps up my top 5 goalies in the NHL right now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm going to try and reply to every comment on this video. I do want to give some honorable mentions to Frederik Andersen, Jacob Markstrom, and Thatcher Demko, as I considered putting all 3 of those guys at the number 5 spot, but ultimately I went with Sorokin, of course. I might turn this into like an annual series type thing. I'm not really too sure yet, as I don't think the rankings would change too much year by year. As for these rankings, I tried to base them off like the past 2 or 3 seasons and not just this season alone. If it was just this season alone, Shesterkin would definitely be number 1. Because, again, he was amazing this year and really fun to watch. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. And, again, subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The links will be down below in the description. But that is all I have for now, and I will see you all in the next video.